Just moments after the announcement that Officer Darren Wilson would not be indicted, chaos ensued in the streets of Ferguson. Fires were set and cars and businesses were destroyed. And authorities say about 150 shots were fired over the course of the night. Taking a live look right now, these are live pictures from Ferguson. You can see just how intense those flames are. Look at that building just burning right now. You can see the smoke pouring out of the building. The St. Louis County Police Chief says at least a dozen businesses are burning after the protests turned violent. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Sarah Rosario. We will have much more from Ferguson in just a moment. But first, we want to get a check on today's forecast. Keith, today is going to be a busy travel day. Many people just hoping to get a jump on that travel.
Yeah, they may want to try to get things started, especially if they're traveling to the long into Wednesday for that travel day. The rain hangs on.
All right, thank you, Keith. Now back to Ferguson, Missouri. Fires, broken glass, and violent protests have filled the streets of Ferguson all night. This came moments after the prosecuting attorney announced that the grand jury did not indict Officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown.
They determined that no probable cause exists to file any charge against Officer Wilson and returned a no true bill on each of the 5 indictments.
Well, the grand jury considered testimony released in more than 1,000 pages of documents. Officer Darren Wilson testified that before he drew his gun, Brown hit him in the face and tried to grab his gun. New released photos of Officer Wilson have been made public now. They show him after a medical examination after the shooting. Well, the situation became more violent as the night went on. ABC's Karen Travers is in Ferguson, Missouri with the latest.
What are you done for?
Violent. Karen Travers, ABC News, Ferguson, Missouri.
There will be 2 rallies held in Charlotte tonight in the wake of the grand jury's decision. The NAACP has called for a rally at 6:30 at Mayfield Memorial Church. That's on Sugar Creek Road. The National Action Network will also hold a rally at the federal courthouse at 7:30. That group, as well as civil rights leaders across Charlotte, expressed outrage over the grand jury's decision.
The decision tonight was, to me, one of the most disappointing and disheartening decisions I've ever heard. But it's very typical of America in the last 5 to 6 years. And it will become even more typical if we do not decide to act to change the direction in which this country is going.
We will, of course, follow any developments out of Ferguson today. We will also have a slideshow of the protest on our website at WSOC-TV.com. We are following a developing story out of Anson County this morning where deputies say a 3-year-old girl was shot and killed in what police believe was a murder-suicide. The man was found dead in a small outbuilding behind the house on Hornstore Road in Peachland. The girl was found inside the home. Deputies say the man was dating the girl's mother. We have a crew headed to Anson County right now. We will be asking authorities about a motive, and we'll have more ahead on Eyewitness News at 5 a.m. Last night, the Chester City Council held its first meeting since one of its members was gunned down. Officers say gang violence may be to blame, and they're on heightened alert in Chester County after Odell Williams, a former police officer and city councilman, was killed. The sheriff has said gang members have threatened him, but last night, city leaders stood firm, saying they aren't frightened by what happened.
This community cannot live in fear. We can't govern in fear.
Council members also discussed how they want to remember Williams and what kind of memorial will be best for the city. Hornets player Jeff Taylor is speaking out for the first time since he pleaded guilty to assaulting his girlfriend. What he said about his actions and how soon he'll be back on the court. We have new details about a plan to move the Charlotte Checkers to Bojangles Coliseum, how much it would cost, and what could happen to the team if the money isn't approved. Plus, why UNC is handing over thousands of dollars to Duke after last week's big rival game.